Hello everyone, and welcome back to the fourth part of the Constructicons review. As you can see, this one is Hook, and as ever, he's obviously a construction vehicle. He's a mobile crane. I'll bring his backing card in so you can see the detail on that. His G1 artwork, which is really nice, very reminiscent of the G1 cartoon. And on the back, his instructions, the usual photographs, and I'll bring in his text back so that you can read up, pause that and read up about him. Pretty nice usual card you get with the G1 figures. Now with Hook, he came with Devastator's head, which folds down like so. So that's the original Devastator's head with yellow eyes rather than red as in the cartoon. Not quite cartoon accurate, but not too bad. But that folds down, and there's a reason for that. I have got his original sticker leaflet. Obviously there wasn't something quite right with that middle sticker, so I must have cut it out at the time to get it out correctly. He also had, as with all the Constructicons, they got their own individual little pistol. So that's his little blaster. So you can see the moulding detail there. Quite a nice little gun, and again individual just to him. And you did get another green sort of blaster which attaches to Devastator's head. Now it does do that in robot mode as well as in this other mode, which actually works with Hook. Now on the side of Devastator's head you can see that there's a hole there. That's it, it's showing up in the light better. And this sort of gun just pegs straight into the side there. Now when he's in Devastator mode you can attach it, but it was never in the cartoon, and to be quite honest it looks a bit stupid. But they incorporated it in this mode, that if you lift up Hook's jib arm of his crane, you'll notice that there's a silver peg there, and you can peg on with this little socket here the whole head section onto Hook, and it becomes another weapon that Hook can have in his vehicle mode, like so. And you can also peg on his pistol in this mode into this little hole at the front, so at least you can incorporate all of the parts onto Hook in his vehicle mode, which is a little bit better. It's a little bit more self-contained in that way. But anyway, that's these little added extra sort of bits covered. Now take those back off. I'll give you a look around Hook in his vehicle mode. Quite a nice vehicle mode, this one. A little bit better than some of the others. It's got a few extra features. Some nice little touches, like little chrome hook at the end of the jib. Some quite nice chrome parts all round on him. They picked out chrome on his wheels as well. And of course you've got a rub sign there at the front with a little Decepticon logo. They've picked out the windows with purple plastic inserted inside the actual moulding itself, so quite nice. Only on the outside sides, but yeah, that's not too bad. The jib arm of the crane does lift right up like so, and the inner part does extend out a reasonable length, so you know you can pretend he's actually a little construction vehicle working. Just slide that in carefully. The actual rear part, which is the crane, does actually rotate as well, which is a quite nice little feature, which they didn't necessarily always do on figures this size. Again, quite nice. So it did make it reasonably realistic and not too obviously kibbly a transformer of the time, so it worked pretty well. Now to transform to robot mode is quite simple, as with most combiners are. Just lift up the jib out the way to start with, You then need to, as you can see, these screw sliding joints, you need to pull them apart just to free things up a little bit, because you need clearance for these front sections to flip over, and they need to be separated as you turn, because there's a little catch there, and that needs to come out and clear these chromed plastic parts. Now that can all then be slid back shut like so, and then you can forget about that section, and that has formed his legs. Now to form his arms, all you need to do is these green sections with the wheels on the side just need to be pulled right out till they clear the bodywork so that you can turn them. That's the same on both sides. They do lock out with a reasonable sort of catch, so they do stay there. You can push the jib of the arm back against the body, which is a little bit neater, still a bit kibbly, but a bit better than some of the others. And then all that's left to do is the black piece again at the top. You just need to flip up to form his head. Now that is a little bit wobbly, but you know, again, with these sort of like combiners of the time, you've got to expect a little bit of sort of that kind of problems. He is suffering a little bit of sticker peel here and there on the odd metallic sticker, mainly on the Decepticon logo on his chest, because that's covering a screw hole, so it's always a little bit of a weak spot with stickers. But I'll bring him in so you can have a better look. Quite a good face detail on Hook. They picked out his whole sort of eye visor and mouth, nose part of his face in silver. And it does show up quite nice, and is reasonably accurate to the cartoon. Some nice sticker details. Like I say, the Decepticon logo is just a little bit peely, but other than that, they're all in pretty good nick. But yeah, that's Hook, and of course in his robot mode you can peg on his pistol as well. It's a little bit of a tight fit in his handholds, but of course it never really got used that much in that mode, because of course he was often just part of Devastator as such. But yeah, that's Hook. Pretty good one out of the Constructicons. The only sort of downside is he's got one club foot and one skinny foot, but he stands reasonably well. You will find that his feet do tend to almost like lean in, where they could do with coming out slightly, but I think that's just a little bit of old age on the plastic. Size comparison again with the Legends class figure, he's a bit taller than some of the other Constructicons, so a little bit more for your money, but then of course at the time he sort of like, I suppose he's about the same as what a Cyberverse or a Legends figure is these days, but of course he's got the added advantage that there's more to him, and he's a bit of a combiner as well, so obviously that's more playability. But anyway, that's Hook pretty much covered. I shall be back with the 5th instalment of the Constructicon individual parts, and that would be Long Haul. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you again for another review.